Look at these ruins. This is an excavation site near the mountains of ancient Yemen. Long ago, this land was ruled by a king who possessed immense wealth, a massive army, and strict laws. Yet he noticed one critical piece missing: the true, internalized devotion of his people. They bowed, but they did not submit their hearts. To mask his deep psychological insecurity, the king made a terrifying decree. He declared himself to be God. He built an empire of fear, enforcing his divine status through the deceptive tricks and illusions of his chief court magician. But the architect of that fear was running out of time. The magician was growing old, his hands shaking and his mind fading. He warned the king that his dark arts would die with him unless they found a brilliant young apprentice to inherit his knowledge and keep the king's lie alive. The king's absolute power was a facade. It relied completely on a fading deception that desperately needed a new host to survive. Soldiers scoured the city, testing children until they found the sharpest mind, an ordinary, nameless boy. He became the magician's apprentice. But on his daily walk to the palace, the boy secretly met with a hidden monk, a rahib. The monk taught him tawhid, the belief in the absolute oneness of God. Two violently opposed forces fought for the boy's mind. On one side, he saw the lucrative, terrifying power offered by the king's magic. On the other, he felt the profound inner peace offered by the monk's spiritual truth. The conflict reached a breaking point when a massive, terrifying beast blocked the main city road, trapping the citizens. Instead of casting a spell, the boy simply picked up a stone, prayed directly to Allah for the truth to be revealed, and threw it. That single physical defeat of the beast broke the magician's psychological hold. It proved to the boy that the monk's divine truth carried tangible, real-world power. The boy bypassed illusions entirely and became a conduit for actual miracles. Word spread quickly when a blind, prominent courtier from the king's own palace came to the boy, desperate for his sight to be restored. When offered lavish gifts for a cure, the boy refused them. He explicitly told the courtier, "I do not heal anyone. My Lord heals." He prayed, the courtier's vision returned, and the man immediately embraced faith. This direct denial of the king's divinity was an act of total treason. When the news reached the throne room, the king panicked. He violently tortured the newly sighted courtier to uncover the source of this rebellion. Once he found out about the hidden monk, he had the old man dragged into the palace and gruesomely executed. The king's escalation to horrific physical violence was a direct symptom of his weakness. He was losing control over his kingdom, and brutality was his only remaining tool. He ordered his soldiers to drag the boy to the peak of a mountain and throw off. But as the boy calmly prayed, the earth shook. The soldiers lost their footing and fell to their deaths, while the boy simply walked back down, unharmed. Furious, the king tried again. He sent guards to take the boy far out to sea and drown him. Once again, the boy prayed. A sudden violent upheaval capsized the wooden boat, drowning the captors, but returning the boy safely to the shore. Realizing the king was trapped, the boy offered him a calculated ultimatum. He told the king he could not be killed unless the king gathered the entire city, drew an arrow, and publicly declared, "In the name of Allah, Lord of the boy." Blinded by his own arrogance and desperate to finish the job, the king agreed. Before a massive crowd, he drew his bow, spoke the exact words the boy demanded, and fired. The arrow struck, and the boy fell. The boy had won. By engineering his own public execution, he forced the tyrant to use his own voice to broadcast the existence of a higher, true God to the entire civilization. The silence in the crowd broke, replaced by a unified roar. Having witnessed the undeniable truth of the boy's sacrifice, the citizens instantly converted. The entire square echoed with people declaring their belief in the boy's Lord. This animated cross-section shows the king's humiliated, genocidal response. He ordered massive, deep trenches to be carved directly into the city streets. His soldiers filled these wide ravines with layers of wood and oil, igniting them into roaring, inescapable infernos. The king dragged his newly converted citizens to the edge of the smoke. His final command: publicly renounce their new faith or be thrown alive into the blazing pits. The king's desperate act of terror took the boys' individual victory and turned it into a harrowing, society-wide test of ultimate faith. At the edge of the fire, the believers displayed profound moral courage. One terrified mother hesitated, holding her infant back from the flames. According to the historical accounts, the baby miraculously spoke, urging her to have patience because she was on the path of truth. With that miraculous confirmation, she calmly stepped forward. But the fire did not stay contained. A fierce, sudden wind whipped through the trenches. The flames surged out of the pits, turning back onto the oppressors and consuming the king and his entire army in an instant. This exact historical triumph of belief over tyranny was immortalized here, in Surah al-Buruj of the Quran, ensuring the story of the people of the ditch would outlive the empire that tried to erase them. Looking at these crumbling towers today, the lesson remains clear. True power is never found in military might or oppressive fear. It lies in the indestructible nature of moral truth.